Good morning, Tiandra and Jesse. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. I appreciate being here.
So tell me about the inspiration to start this business.
Honestly, this kind of idea started about 12 years ago. So I worked in a group home with deaf people who are, have disabilities. And with my first client, he was deaf. Okay, so it was a very frustrating situation. He was upset a lot. The staff did not know how to communicate and just give the proper needs to this individual. So they hired me in to work with this individual. And so that's where I found my calling. I did notice that over the 12 years, there is a big gap from the deaf community with communication not being accessible, not having the proper care, not having staff that knew how to talk with or chat with deaf individuals. So I felt like I wanted to provide space for that to happen for a variety of people, whether they're deaf, blind, or just whatever disability they may have. And so that's what motivated me to start my business.
What does it mean for you to fill this gap?
Well, for this gap, and this is for example, so I do have one deafblind client that I work with, that I provide services with too, okay? And so she has been through different healthcare agencies because they just didn't know how to communicate with her properly. And so she did not feel supported. She didn't feel that she was being understood. She did not feel included. And so she just felt like they were not able to provide her the best care that she deserved. And so that's where my company steps in. And so I felt like it was worth it to start this company so that way we can understand each other. I understand where she's come from because she is deaf and I'm deaf as well. So I understood how to bridge that gap with her.
And you're here and you're in Indianapolis, correct? So how does that
Yes.
work that you are in multi-cities?
Well, so I graduated from Indianapolis, so that's where I'm originally from. And so there's a large, massive deaf community down there. Okay, and so they have the deaf school that's down there. So again, compared to what we have here in Michiana, it's a larger deaf community. And so I felt like I needed to set one up for Indianapolis as well to provide more space, as well as here in Michiana.
What's your big dream for your business?
Well, my goal right now is that I am not a medical home care service provider. And so my goal is to expand my business to have more resources so I can be more of a medical home care provider. So right now I can provide to deaf clients and hearing clients, but I want to provide more resources. But I want to make sure that I can provide resources that individuals who may be struggling with life or maybe just are being transferred to appropriate home care system based on their needs, and they're not comfortable being transferred or not satisfied. So I want to be able to expand my business to have those resources so we're not transferring them out to homes to home. I also want to set up a day program for individuals as well. So I want to set up a group home. And so the goal is to expand it so that way there's more resources available and not just being shifted from one place to another. I want to have those resources readily available.
What would you tell somebody? You obviously you work with people with a disability and you yourself have a disability. What would you tell somebody that wants to start a business but doesn't want to because they feel that their disability will interfere?
Prove them wrong, okay? Prove them wrong. So I want to say that you can do anything that you put your mind to. Just keep working at it. Find that right support, that right resource. Because sometimes you might feel like, how do I do this? And people might think that you can't. But I've realized that they're not educated, they're not knowledgeable enough, and I want to be able to provide them that education that I can do all these things, and they can too.
I love that. Well, thank you so much for what you do. You are an inspiration to me. So thank you for being here. If you would like to learn more about Hands in Motion Home Care or use their services, you can go to handsinmotioncare.com or call one of the two numbers on your screen.